Hello and welcome to Will Watches. This is Eraserhead. So this is another David Lynch film. I've been wanting to watch this for quite a while now to do a reaction to it. I know, like other David Lynch films, it's going to be quite weird and wacky. The only other film I've seen from him is The Elephant Man, but I've heard this is a lot stranger than that. So before we jump into this, be sure to check out the Patreon page. Over there you can find a full-length version of this reaction, early access to future reactions, and polls so you can vote for what's next. So yeah, let's just jump right in. Okay, he's got his own company and it's called Absurda. Yeah, it's all in black and white. I wasn't sure if that was a big old, I don't know, mole or something on the side of his head, but it looks like a planet, space behind him. Yeah, at first I thought it was like a growth. Now this is almost completely blind. Literally all I've seen is this guy with the big hair on the poster. Is he dreaming of space then? Dreaming of another planet? Oh, okay. Is this on that planet? That looks more like an asteroid actually. So a roof. Huh. Yeah, he's got a load of stuff on him. Something on his chest there as well. Is he seeing all of this? Okay. That's supposed to be like an alien, little worm. Okay. Doing something. Pulling levers, what does that do? Yeah, something's being activated, put into motion, it feels like. Oh, is that a lake? So there is liquid on this planet. So obviously, well, we know life on the planet anyway. Yeah, the way he's reacting, it was like he was dreaming and seeing all of that. He's been seeing all of this. Yeah, the sound effects, so eerie and then all very brutalist, large and brutalist architecture. Yeah, he put his foot through that puddle earlier, and looking at puddles again here, we saw the little alien worm fall into a puddle. Is he thinking of that whenever he sees a puddle there? Then the contrast of the inside is all very red brick, industrial, some brutalist, and it's very nice inside. Well, actually, yeah, some of the wallpaper there's coming away, creased and wrinkled. And then the lift not working.
Are you Henry?
Yes.
Okay, you've got a name. Yeah, it's almost like he's scared of the outside world, though he's hugging his bag there. Is that just a bag of shopping? I was thinking, was it going to be like his only sanctuary is his room here, but it doesn't seem like it. Noise from his radiator as well and everything. Wait, is his window just completely bricked up, or is that he's so close to another wall that he doesn't have a view? I couldn't feel if there was any depth there or not. Yeah, and what is this random thing on his chest of drawers here? Like, it looks like it's made of hay or something. And that was all around the radiator. Yeah, it's all just very odd, putting coins in the water there in his drawer. Yeah, it's this odd, like, industrial wasteland he lives in. Is that Mary, who the neighbor said about?
I didn't know if you wanted me to come or not. You never come around anymore.
Dinner's almost ready.
So things aren't going, assuming it's a girlfriend, things aren't going well with her. I mean, he had that ripped up photo as well. Maybe they got in an argument.
Hello there.
What's that noise? Critters somewhere. Meeting the parents for the first time?
Sit down.
On the right there, is that just an egg in a nest there? Oh, little puppies, that's what it was. Oh, that's a bit nicer than I was assuming, like rats or something. Just the awkwardness of not knowing what to say. Yeah, meeting someone's parents.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I work at Lapel's factory.
Okay.
We've got chicken tonight. Strangest damn things. They're man-made. Little damn things. Smaller than my fist. They're new.
Chickens are new. They've invented chickens.
I've seen this neighborhood change from pastures to the hellhole it is now. I'd put every damn pipe in this neighborhood.
No. Well, he's been prolific in his work though, hasn't he? Okay. She's just completely unresponsive. Thanks for helping with the cooking, Grandma.
Mary usually does the carving, but maybe tonight you'll do it, Henry.
I mean, they're such tiny chickens anyway. Don't even need to be carved. Oh, lovely. Oh. Both Mum and Mary have had these weird reactions.
You'll be all right in a minute.
Excuse me.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening, but not quite sure how to interpret it all yet. If there is any meaning behind any of this. I assume there is.
Well, Henry, what do you know?
Would you know? Bill seemed pretty okay at the start, conversation wise. Now he's a bit more awkward. What do you know, just as a general question? So you're gonna get told off? And then yeah, just Bill completely unresponsive, smiling away. Are they all acting strange because of this kind of industrialization, the chemicals and things being pumped around this town?
Did you and Mary have sexual intercourse? I have a very good reason.
Is she pregnant?
Very bad trouble if you won't cooperate.
Okay. Yeah, and just her like moaning earlier, it was a bit sexual, yeah.
There's a baby. It's at the hospital.
Mom!
And you're the father.
Wait, she's already given birth?
Premature, but there's a baby. After the two of you are married, which should be very soon, you can pick the baby up.
Yeah, I was thinking, is it a whole premarital thing? The film was 77, so I don't know if that's supposed to be the setting here or if a bit earlier.
You don't mind, do you, Henry? I'm in about getting married.
There being a baby, that maybe makes sense with some of the imagery of they just had an egg in a nest sitting there in their living room as decor, and then there was like hay and what looked like nest material in his flat, in his apartment. Oh, there it is. It's the alien worm, yeah. I think I have seen that before. I've seen that design. I wonder, David Lynch, had he had kids by this point? Is this kind of like a kind of abstract version of his own experience having kids? Or maybe even anxieties around having kids. Is that something to do with the baby as well? Yeah, of course. Baby crying in the nighttime, you're not getting any sleep. Yeah, what is this? It looks like a little worm again in this box he had. I think now I have a rough idea of the themes. I can keep my eye out for some of the imagery. You know, imagery related to intercourse, imagery related, like phallic imagery as well, maybe. At the start, this little worm alien could have even looked like sperm.
Shut up!
Oh, what's the term called when you just get really angry at your baby? I know there's postpartum depression, but then there's also like a postpartum almost anger and hatred you have for your baby, isn't there?
I can't stand it. I'm going home.
And he's just left with the baby.
You'll come back tomorrow?
All I need is a decent night's sleep.
Yeah. A lot of parents just need a decent night's sleep, some time to recover.
Why don't you just stay home?
Oh, but then it's completely his responsibility. Yeah, another shot of the neighbour there. It seems she might be interested in Henry. It's quite a good puppet slash doll they've got here. It's in black and white, so you can probably get away with a bit more, but it's still realistic, the kind of flesh on it. Yeah, there's this like rising like bass, just very oh look away for 1 second and it becomes completely sick. Yeah, it was like he's not a good enough father for letting it get sick. And that can be one of the scariest things as a parent, a child being sick and you not knowing what it is, or you know, they're so young they can't communicate what's wrong as well. Yeah, what is this? It's like he's keeping a secret hidden away in there, locked away, but it's just like this little worm thing, something. Yeah, you can't just leave a baby on its own like that. Yeah, the second he tries to leave. I mean, you can't leave a baby alone, but also it might also symbolize, you know, the second he tries to go and live his life is interrupted by the baby. It's responsibility now. Yeah, it's gross, all the pimples and things on the baby, but I feel like actually the black and white you can't make out as much, so your imagination fills in the gaps. It actually makes it maybe a bit more gross than it would be in colour. Okay, yeah. Back to a stage. Does he dream of being on the stage in the limelight or something? But now his dreams are all ruined. He's got to become a father. Is that what that means? Oh. It's Mrs. Melancholy. She looks kind of like a moon, yeah. Oh. Okay, there it is. Oh, multiple. Don't step on them. I was kind of expecting to hear a squidge sound effect. I mean, I was talking about the imagery of these, little worm-looking things. Imagery of, like, them swimming. They were kind of in space, swimming through space to find another planet. Was like, oh, yeah. Were they swimming through space to find a planet and, like, something else swimming to find an egg? Oh. Yeah, it's those... What could that mean? Almost looks like an umbilical cord as well. Yeah, focus back to this, his dark secret. We saw maybe that next door neighbor. She seemed to have like, I don't know, it looked like she had a little bit of interest in him. His dark secret isn't infidelity, is it? It's another little worm, not another little baby. David Lynch's Dune, there you go. You can see his interest in worms right from the start. And I can see, you know, with some of the weird prosthetics and things, obviously, you know, there's makeup artists and everything. It's a whole team effort that goes into this, but I can see how that gets him the Elephant Man later on as well. A big studio comes along and thinks, hey, do you want to do the Elephant Man? This deals with prosthetics as well. You've worked in that same arena. It was cool, that little worm being like stop motion there though. That's just completely black. Is there even any information in the frame there? Okay, here she is.
Where's your wife?
They're officially married now? Yeah, he doesn't even know.
Not sure.
This whole kind of time period as well, though, it all blurs into one, I guess. Those initial stages. Yeah, that must be what his deep dark secret is then. Oh, it's like they're in a pool there, a puddle. Are they sinking deeper? The lie's getting deeper and deeper, the guilt's getting deeper and deeper. The music feels more positive though, actually, doesn't it? Almost transcendent. Okay, back to her. And we saw like the alien planet for a second there too. In heaven, everything's fine. It's like for that brief period of time, everything's fine. It's escapism while he's with her, running away from everything a bit though. But now he's up on the stage too, huh? Or could that be a song saying, kind of tempting him to give in to temptation like that? Oh. Okay. He's lost his head. Is that a worm replacing it? Yeah, it's the baby replacing him. When you have a baby, it is like all-consuming. Your entire being is focused on this one responsibility now. You can feel like you're drowning. Okay. I was kind of thinking this would be his job, the printing press. Oh, for a second there, I was thinking, oh, make it into an eraser because of the title, yeah, Eraserhead. Oh no, it is, yeah. There's the pencils. So they take a piece of his head that's made of a razor and it's going down the end of the pencils. So the name is very literal.
It's okay.
Just okay though. Well, that's it. It's perfect. The perfect material. That's him just reduced to dust now. At first I thought it was him like running away. No, it's two people in a fight. And they were again by a puddle. Trying to return back to her. Return back to some escapism. Okay. But a laugh now. A laugh because he can't escape. Maybe even, you know, babies, they cry through the night, they do all these things that kind of torment you, and it's almost like it's laughing, doing a malicious laugh, tormenting you even further. But in real life, a baby isn't obviously doing anything on purpose to torment you, but that's how you feel. So yeah, the snickering and the laughing is almost like rubbing it in for him. And maybe the escapism of the theatre there is gone as well, because there wasn't the light coming from behind the radiator. Oh. Back to him as the baby. Feels like a lot of this is him trying to escape this responsibility. I know there's not long left of the film, but maybe I'd like to see him. We haven't actually seen him care for the baby at all, except when it was ill a little bit. He put that like steamer on, tested the baby's temperature. I'd like to maybe see him take up that responsibility and accept the role, take care of the baby. Oh, or is he doing the opposite? What is that? Okay. He's unwrapping it. Yeah, when you see the scissors, that's not your first thought, is it? It feels more ominous. Oh, is that like his ribcage opening it up? Seeing all the, yeah, internal workings. Oh, okay. Wow, I don't know why, yeah. Well, that's so emotionally. It's just a little alien baby. I mean, it's defenseless, isn't it? Oh. It was just so visceral with the movement as well. Just succumbs to temptation, can't handle the responsibility. Is it just a giant head? Yeah. Yeah, the head shape is similar to that planet shape. the dust around him, how his head was kind of reduced to dust before. Oh yeah, that could be like an egg, something coming out of an egg. Yeah, I don't know about this operator guy, the guy operating the levers. Some of the other stuff here, I have a rough idea what it could be, a way to interpret it, but not that guy. I was kind of thinking it could have been a version of the baby older at some point, actually. Oh, yeah, him embracing her, embracing escapism. Is that the end? Wow. Okay, so that was Eraserhead. I did some research and David Lynch had a child before this film was made. He had a child at 22. I couldn't imagine having a child at 22. I can't imagine having a child now or for the foreseeable future. And then he also was going through a divorce when this film was being made as well. So I think that plays a part in it as well. And, you know, there is a lot of confusing imagery, stuff to interpret here, but I feel like a lot of people will get the main point here, this fear of fatherhood, and then just this ending just is so horrific, seeing Henry kind of succumb to this postpartum psychosis and kill his own child like that. It was so, I don't know, visceral and emotional there for me, as you saw it. Kind of caught me off guard, although I saw him pull out the scissors and it had crossed my mind, but still just seeing it happen and just the way the baby reacts, kind of wriggles around, and the black and white, you know, we're seeing these internal organs and they're like being punctured and things, and I think the black and white, your imagination fills in the gaps, as I said earlier on, for when the baby was like sick and was covered in spots and things. It was just really effective. So yeah, I think it's clear it's this fear of fatherhood. Henry was caught off guard becoming a father here. David Lynch, obviously he had a child at 22. I don't know if that was planned or if he was caught off guard as well, but I think this is obviously reflecting some of his fears of when he did become a father. It was in the 60s when he did, so it makes sense. The kind of meeting the family aspect we had there with Mary's family, but it makes sense it being actually about it being premarital there. Maybe that's something that he had to go through as well, and is obviously more abstract, but I think the broad strokes here are clear. And it really seems to be about all of these temptations, and Henry does succumb to them. It's obviously right at the end when he kills the baby, but then there's also with the next door neighbor, the cheating, the infidelity. There's also this bit where the neighbor, she's there with a different man and she turns around, and earlier on we'd had that bit where Henry's head falls off and the baby's head is there, and it's like it's almost all encompassing. The baby, you become the baby as well. And yeah, there's this bit with the girl next door and she turns and sees him, and she sees the baby, it's him with the baby's head again. And that had me thinking about how if you do have a child and you are broken up with someone and you're trying to get it back into dating, how sometimes all people see are the child, you know? And that makes sense with him kind of going through the divorce here. If he was looking to get into other relationships, and having a child would be, you know, something that holds people back from getting into relationships with people. It's like when he's trying to pursue something, all they see is the child, which I feel like in many cases is true. Having a child becomes like defining for you, which for some people that's amazing and that's what they want. But for, you know, people who have been caught off guard by it, it is all consuming. And of course it's all consuming because you've got this child, this defenseless little creature who needs your every bit of attention constantly, needs to be attended to and protected, which we don't actually see much of Henry do. We only see it when the baby is ill. And like I said, if it was a more positive ending, I think I would have loved to maybe see him step up to the role and nurture the baby, feed the baby. We never even see him feed the baby, do we? But the ending we get is much darker than that. It must be strange for Lynch's children now to see the film and what they must think of it. He's got multiple kids now, but when this was made, he only had his first daughter, Jennifer. I do really wonder what she thinks of it. And obviously, it's more about the internal workings, and he would never do that in real life, but there are those kind of moments of weakness, probably, where, you know, you haven't had any sleep, you're completely irritated by the baby and everything. It 100% affects your mental health, you know? And with it, we see almost two options, or we see Mary, she leaves the picture, leaves it to Henry, and at that point it's completely Henry's responsibility. He can't leave the picture. Well, the only way he can leave the picture in his mind is what he does at the end there, perhaps. And it's funny, I made a little joke about there's that woman who's on the stage who she looks like a moon girl, and she kind of, I drew that comparison to Mr. Melancholy from I Saw the TV Glow, but I do see the kind of some similarities here with I Saw the TV Glow, not with any of the gender aspect of that, but with the kind of idea of these lost years, how time is moving slow or moving fast, and you kind of feel like you're losing out on life, living this. There it was kind of this suburban life, but here we have this almost liminal industrial wasteland that they're living on. But, you know, having a child at that young age, it can feel like a loss of your childhood or a loss of your young adulthood, these kind of formative years. You know, it makes sense to fear what you will miss out on, the FOMO, the fear of missing out on everything you will miss out on becoming a parent at that young age, you know. As I said earlier, I couldn't imagine having a child that age. Having a child at that age is so foreign to me, it's alien. And here we see the child that they have. It is alien. It's an alien, or that's how I interpret it, because, you know, we were seeing images of space as well, and like a little planetoid. I still don't know what to make of that guy who he had, you know, some sort of prosthetics on and looked maybe alien-like and was pulling those levers. I don't know what to make of him. I can't. Almost everything else in here, I can have some sort of interpretation, like locking away a dark secret with that other little worm, and some of the kind of phallic imagery or imagery that could be to do with reproductive systems. But with that guy, I don't know what to make of him. He's pulling levers, he's putting things into place, he's controlling people. I'm not quite sure there. I don't know how to interpret him, really. And then we've got the title Eraserhead. Obviously there is the bit where his head falls off and is turned into erasers, and it's quite literal, but to me it feels like almost this emptiness, nothing in his head. Eraser, it's getting rid of things, it's erasing things, obviously. It's erasing memories, erasing a future that he could have had without the kid. But it also maybe feels like, is it just there's nothing in there, because the characterization we get for Henry is quite little. It's, you know, the small expressions on his face, expressions of fear, expressions of disgust. There's very minimal dialogue here. I wouldn't say it feels like his head is empty, but maybe even his head is all consumed by, you know, becoming a father, by having a child now. Then right at the end, we see him in this kind of white space, and he's hugging the woman who was on stage, who, I don't know, I'll just call her Mrs. Moon. She looked almost like a moon. But we had the very start, we've got the worms that could look like sperm going through space, and then, well, would they be going to find another planet, and the planet represents an egg? Does that represent is she supposed to represent an egg? Because at the end, I kind of interpreted him hugging her as him embracing this kind of escapism that he was seeking, escaping the baby. But you could, if she represents an egg, maybe it is him accepting responsibility, even though we did see him kill the baby. But, you know, you could interpret that as that just being, you know, an expression of him wanting to do that, him wanting to escape from this responsibility, like he does when he cheats with the neighbor, and like he does maybe wanting to be at the theater. He's trying to like escape this life. And I do think the kind of industrial backdrop here kind of plays into that as well. It's this kind of land where there's no opportunity. As I said, it's almost a bit liminal in terms of the visuals, but also maybe in terms of the opportunity there. You know, he worked as a printer. I don't know what his kind of aspirations and goals are, but I imagine they're not to be just a guy who works as a printer. Is there really much aspiration you can achieve in this kind of industrial setting they've got there? So I think that plays a part in this kind of feeling of emptiness, this feeling of wanting more but not having anywhere to go, this feeling of entrapment he has almost. But yeah, I actually really love that. I thought I'd be confused, you know, went into it knowing I'd be confused, and even some of the stuff I don't quite understand now, I can ponder and think about more about this guy with the levers, what his whole stick is about. But the broad strokes are there, and what I can interpret from these broad strokes I do really love. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below. Love to know your interpretations on all of this as well, and be sure to subscribe so you can keep up to date on all the future uploads. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later.